This is the Heybike Mars. It's one of the most popular e-bikes on the market today. And for good reason. It's got 500 watts of power in it. It's going to take you up to 20 some miles per hour with either throttle or pedal assist. And the really cool thing about this is it's foldable, so you can take it pretty much everywhere. A lot of spots where maybe you're too far to ride your bike to, you can now throw this in the back of your car or SUV and take it to the beach or take it to the mountains, places you couldn't normally ride because there's expressways or it's just too far from home to take your bike. Now those places are opened up to you without the necessity of putting an expensive bike rack on the back of your car or SUV, which can cause scratches and a whole number of other problems. It's just so much more convenient to be able to fold it up. And it's really easy to do too. All you do is pop this guy open. And then now it's got a little weight, it's 60 to 65 pounds. So you fold it like this and the two parts come together. You fold down the handlebar and you're really good to go. And put it together, it's a snap too. You want to keep your fingers out of here. It's like the vice grip of death. So don't make that mistake. And to put it back together, you just straighten it out and just snap this guy on, you're good to go. Comes with this nice little handle too, which is really well balanced, right about in the center point of the weight of the bike. A couple of features on this thing: it has pedal assist. There's 3 ways to ride this thing. Number 1, it's a bicycle. You can just pedal it. It's got a 7-gear Shimano shifter on it. Super high quality, state-of-the-art stuff. Number 2, you can use pedal assist. Pedal assist is what helps you go. It helps kick in a little bit of that motor to help you pedal a little bit easier. And then there's just throttle, which is the right size. It is a thumb throttle on the right side here, and that will take you up to the full speed that the motor will allow you to. And days like this where it's incredibly windy, I don't know if you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me, but when you're riding into the wind, if you've ever ridden a bicycle into the wind, you realize how painful that is, to a point where you don't want to do it, because it's just riding into the wind. You've got all this wind pushing you back, and it just makes it incredibly hard, and you're exhausted, and you realize you got to ride back home, because usually a bike's a 2-way trip. You can't just leave it somewhere. So this is really going to help on those windy days. We're here in Florida, and we get a lot of windy days down here where the wind's just kicking. Right now it's about 15-20 miles an hour coming straight into me here on my way home. So now I'm kind of tired. I took my ride around here, did a test ride, and I got to ride back home now, and I got to ride into this wind, and it's just, it would be painful without pedal assist or the throttle. And you have those 2 options to give you a little bit of extra juice. In terms of range on this thing, it really depends how much you pedal, how much you weigh, and what you're riding through. Right now I'm riding through this little grass field, which provides a lot more resistance. More resistance is going to have a bigger impact on your battery, and it's not going to go as far. But if you're riding on paved streets and sidewalks and you're pedaling along with it, you're not starting out with the throttle, you're actually pedaling from a dead stop, then you're going to have a lot more range. And we'll put the range down here on the screen, let you know what the factory says. It doesn't always work out that way because there's so many things it's hard to predict. Plus the wind blowing at you too is also going to affect your range. If you got the wind behind you, obviously you're going to be able to ride further. But this battery and this motor is really all you need. It's 20-inch tires too. A lot of people have complained, a lot of women have complained that some of the 26 inches are too big. You can't really get your leg over this. But this one is not bad at all. I can lift my leg right over this center piece here with no problem. You can also tilt it towards you if you need to do that too. So it's not as big and bulky as some of those larger e-bikes that a lot of actually people who are under 6 foot tall can't really get on. I'm almost 6 foot tall, and this fits me great. I mean, people look at like a 20-inch, I'm 6 foot tall. Is that going to work for me? Absolutely, because the seat is adjustable. You can raise this seat up. You can even change the handlebars too. There's so many things you could do. So I could roll it all the way up here if I wanted to. But don't put it too high, because you want your feet to be able to touch the ground when you're stopped. It's kind of a safety feature. It actually comes with a very nice seat, and it flips up. I've never seen this design before, so you can lift the battery out. It does have a key, and the key needs to be in the battery for this thing to have power, if you want to use the power. If you're just riding as a bicycle, you really don't need the key, but it will need to be in there, which is a nice safety feature. They do give you 2. They are attached to the battery when you get it from the factory. And if you do lose those keys, you're in trouble, because you're not going to be able to turn on the pedal assist and the power of this thing. It does have a horn and a set of lights You can flick the lights on with this button once it's on. It is a very nice bike, and I can see why this thing is so popular. One of the biggest benefits of the Heybike, this particular one, the Mars model, is it came just about fully assembled. Every other bike I had to put together, it's an hour ordeal, but this one I took out of the box and everything was on. The wheels are attached, the handlebar was attached, all the wiring's attached. There's really no assembly required on this e-bike, which was phenomenal and a big change from what we're used to. I was really surprised to see that. It came in a box, a big giant box, which I'll show you, and it was folded together, which is what you're supposed to do with these bikes. You fold it so it doesn't take up as much space. It was folded neatly in the box. The battery was here. The fenders are already installed. The lights were installed. Most e-bikes, you have to throw a lot of that stuff on yourself. It's not hard, but it's nice that Heybike took the time to figure out how to put it in that box fully assembled, so you could take it out and pretty much charge the battery and get riding within a couple of hours. It did take about 4 hours for the battery to charge. There's a little bit of charge from the factory, but you want to charge that up and totally top it off before you take it out for your first ride. And I do recommend, I think the other battery manufacturers do recommend that every time you ride it, just top it off, charge it every time you ride it. These things are rated at full charge cycles. I mean, you get hundreds of cycles. You could take it all the way down to the bottom and up to the top again and fill it up, but that takes an entire charge cycle. So if you want to maximize the life of your battery, it's always better just to top it off after every ride, so you don't have to fully charge it and take one of those whole cycles off the life of the battery. Nice, comfortable seat too. This is a very cushy seat. And what's nice, another benefit of the Heybike series is, check this out. The seat, it's a suspension seat post. It doesn't have suspension on the back. Might be hard to do on a foldable bike. This has a seat suspension and also has the front fork suspension. The front fork suspension is adjustable. If you don't like the seat post, you can actually replace it if you want to. But this is nice. When I was riding over this bumpy dirt and grass to get to this spot, it was actually a pretty comfortable ride. My brains weren't jiggling around in my head. So that is a nice feature with the Heybike Mars that came with it itself. Comes with a kickstand that was already installed. Everything was here. Everything was ready to go. All I did was add a bag and add a little phone holder to the front, and ready to go. The brakes are adjusted perfectly. It's not making any noises. And I was able to get it up to about, with pedal assist, about 22 miles an hour into the wind, which is pretty amazing for an electric bike. But yeah, this is a winner. I can see why this thing is so popular. It's a very, very nice bike. Let's take a ride, see what you can do.